Congratulations, mercenary! You've managed to see through our camouflage system and locate this video. That means you're probably competent enough to use the basic weapons that we design here at 35 Industries. Let's start this showcase with a demonstration, shall we? This is the meeting room where all of our deals are negotiated. Nobody leaves regretting the bargain that they got. Unfortunately, it looks like we currently have an unruly client who wants some free netherite templates. Let's show him why arguing and shouting at our sacred meeting table is considered bad manners. As you can see, we have developed a new weapon system. Please head on through to the display hall and we can show you its features. After you. Now, before we get to the flashy ceiling cannon, let's start with the basics, just in case you're a mercenary new to the world of superweapons. This is a wind charge compressor. It works by firing a wind charge through a cobweb, slowing it down enough for the piston to catch it and push it. If you repeat this process a bunch of times, you get what I like to call a propellant charge. Push this with a slime block, and you'll get a big boom when it hits a block. Using that line of thought leads to this simple contraption. You see, if you position an arrow at the correct angle and detonate a propellant charge nearby it, the arrow will start moving at the speed of fast. That speed allows it to deal insane amounts of damage. That damage, combined with the correct loading technique, bypasses true god armor, double totems, and turtle master potions, along with giving your arrow about a 300 block effective range, with a cheap build that is completely disposable. We released this model a while ago, and were overjoyed to see it not only be understood by a mercenary, but also iterated upon. Thank you for using our weapon, Mr. Minutech, and for figuring out the corner version that we had yet to showcase. We always love to see people taking the initiative. In fact, we have a few modified designs that we haven't shown off yet, at least until now. Meet the Claymore's newest brothers, designed through many minutes of painstaking trial and error. Let's start with the eldest. The diagonal Claymore can fire in unexpected ways, capitalizing on the fact that people never expect to be hit from a 45-degree angle. It's the open sightlines nearby mountain walls that give people pause, not the innocent bookshelf tucked away in a forgotten corner of their own base. Now, if you're needing something with a bit more collateral damage, look no further than our Wave Claymores, based upon our standard and corner Claymore designs. These come enhanced with two easy attached trapdoors for increased arrow capacity and much wider spread. But perhaps you don't want to be discriminating your fire. Maybe you just want to wipe a battlefield clean in one fell swoop. I introduce the 360 Claymore. Packed with even more wind charges and able to fire in all directions at once, this is a very powerful weapon. The only difficulty with using it is hiding it, at least for now. We're working on something to fix that. Getting back on track here, only to probably immediately derail, all of these variants have the same properties as the original. They all one-shot and double pop totems, no matter the gear or potion effects that your target may have. A quick aside. On proper loading, you want to use a Power 5 bow and load the arrows in lines like this. You can also use an unenchanted and Power 3 bow to load in the lines, making it easier to bypass totems. At least that's according to some mercenaries out there. I personally haven't seen the need for that, since normal Power 5 loading with the line method works incredibly well. Now, time for the brand new flashy weapon that you saw in the beginning of this video. The Death from Above, the Slayer of the Still, the hidden hammer that will send you to meet your maker. The ceiling cannon. One true God Gear zombie with 40 hearts of health, obliterated in an instant. We've tested this with Unbreaking 3 shields as well. It does not matter. They will break. Ooh, but this is so complicated, I hear you say, because that's what I wrote in the script for this poorly thought out transition. And I can hear you. Don't think that I can't. But I assure you it's not that complicated. Here, let's break it down. We'll start with the core of the cannon, the piston door. There are two variants of this depending on your concealment needs. Let's start with the simplest. You'll want to start with a ceiling overhang similar to this, either by making one or building it into an existing feature such as a cave. The target block is not needed for this build. It is purely there so you know where you're aiming at. Now from here we add a sticky piston that can retract the block. Then add a simple stasis chamber above it. Then add the simple wind charge compressor with an iron trap door to align the charge blast. Now remove the charging system and fiddle around with the timings for a little bit. I personally use 3 full game tick repeaters along with a observer to 0 tick the piston and pull back the blocks, that way we can fire. And that's it. That's all there is to the simplest version of this weapon. Now, what if you're wanting to attach it to a flat roof? Well, there are changes, but the basic components mostly stay the same. The sticky piston gets replaced with 2 1x1 trapdoor pistons, the additional one being for removing a block that would prevent the cannon from firing. Now we add in our firing line and the slime block with that. Then we add our charging system. And finally, we add the circuit for the alignment trapdoor. Voila, we now have both designs perfected. Almost. Let's get to the downsides. The first downside is that this cannon can't double pop totems and kill the player. It can pop one totem and kill the player, although that is highly inconsistent. The reason for this is because whenever you load arrows into a bubble column, they will bob up and down. This bobbing affects their hitbox, which means that if you load in enough shots, your arrows will get different hitbox heights, and this allows for totem bypassing. As previously stated though, this is inconsistent, and due to how the arrows bob up and down, it is very difficult to control. If you play on a server that allows totems, just use a Claymore variant. As for downside number 2, it is slow and it is loud. That is how much delay you have in between pressing the button to fire and actually getting the kill. It's about 1.5 seconds, which is not a lot, but it is enough for someone to be able to react. Will they survive it? Probably not, but they might still, so you have to be wary of that. Now, for the schematics I promised for all of these builds, they're at the end of this video. Check out the timestamped chapters to find the one you want. What? Not the schematics you wanted? Did you want something you just download and paste it into your world? Well, too dang bad. If you can't figure it out from the resources that I've provided, the weapons that I make are not for you. I said something to that effect in the Claymore showcase that I uploaded, and despite saying that, I was asked for one by quite a few people. I am very disappointed in you. The Claymore is one of the simplest redstone creations there is out there. All it is a wire connecting a button to a sticky piston to a trapdoor. Well, plus the stasis and charging circuit, but that's not really my point. My point is that it's such a simple build that anyone can make it. For example, my father, who has never touched the game before in his life, was able to build the Claymore from my reference photos. It took him 30 minutes. He barely understands how the game controls work. And you want a schematic for something that simple, so you don't have to try, so you don't have to feel the sting of failure, so you don't have to put effort into learning something. I spent over 8 months designing my first functional Claymore for Bedrock Edition. You can put in an hour or 2 to puzzle this out. And before you hop in the comments and say, oh, you're too stupid to understand how all this works. No, you aren't stupid. That's just a lie you tell yourself to shield yourself from failure. This isn't some ooga booga scary behemoth of a contraption that relies on directional zero-tick generators and needs to be precisely aligned with the moon and the stars as you pray to the Omnissiah for guidance and awakening its machine spirit. This cannon is just simple. Have some faith in yourself. That is all I ask. Please, do it, if not for yourself, then for me. I love to see people who grow and accomplish the things they once thought impossible. Now to get back on track, where was I? Alright. Back in the display room, just before the end of the video and the cut to the schematics, I have a little treat for the Bedrock players watching this. Behold, the better Bedrock Claymore. Switching versions for a second, let's show this off. This cannon uses a falling block detonation mechanic discovered by Just a Jack and expanded upon by AshTheScholar, making for a much more robust and less buggy Claymore design, unlike my previous one. Here's how it works. This block will fall down, and in doing so will interact with all of these wind charges, and because they all have sympathetic explosions, near instant actual explosion. Now, as for how compact this Claymore is, this is it. This is all there is to it for the actual firing mechanism. You just put a bunch of wind charges right up here, put your arrows right in here, press the button, and it will all explode. And it's as reliable, if not more reliable, than my Java Claymore. Bedrock stays winning, man. Anywho, thank you for watching my descent into madness. 35 Industries will always be here to fulfill your arrow cannon and other dastardly mechanical creation needs. Take care out there, and make sure to stay away from those hidden bookshelves. Thank you for watching, and have a good rest of your day. I hope you enjoy the schematics.